Welcome. Today, we will review the process when the mother and the child uh, applies for a government program. What happens to the father as a result of child support? This is two-part recording, and in part one, we're going to focus on what is called the SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. For this recording, we're going to review an article that was produced based on the food stamp program and the child support program and why it's a bad idea to merge the two. Let's get started. Also, in part two, we will expand on that. What happens when the mother applies for additional resources or services from the state or the federal? And we call that part two. Also, we're asking to subscribe to our channel here, as well as hit the notification bell so that when we produce this version, you'll be first to receive it. Hello, my name is Chris, and in this session, we're reviewing the process of what happens when the mother applies for a government program, and when does that lead to the father being on child support, or does it conflict with the due process rights? On this channel, we practice in all of our videos a more of an offensive strategy for you to separate yourself from the child support program. And we like to use the book called The Art of War of Sun Tzu. And in the second paragraph on the left, we have here, in order to defeat your enemy, you have to disarm them. You have to be able to remove them from the equation. We also have a quote from Michael Corleone that says, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And what we're saying is we give you the techniques, tools, and strategy in which for you to face the enemy, face the child support program, as opposed to running away from it. We have a section called Call to Action, where we'll give you our opinion, my opinion, regarding the food stamp program and the child support program, and whether or not when mother signs up for these, what happens to the father. Also, if you haven't had a chance to review our previous video called Strategies for this Pandemic, as always, protect yourself from this deadly virus that's now engulfing the world. So here we are, what is called this article called Forcing Food Stamp Participants to Receive Child Support Services is a Bad Idea. That is, this article was written in 2018. And this article is what led me to look further into the child support program and to produce all these videos. It says here that if the states were to implement the merging of the food stamp program and the child support program, it would cost the state billions of dollars. Another important point about this article is that it was written from a former federal child support commissioner. Yes, you're getting it directly from one of the organizers from the child support agency. The name of this particular commissioner is irrelevant to the story itself. We just want to focus on the story. So to begin the article from this federal commissioner, in the first paragraph, it says that Congress, which is now 2018, will consider a proposal to require parents who are applying for food assistance from the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, or SNAP, to participate in the federally supervised, state-administered child support enforcement program. I'll repeat that. Federally supervised, state-administered child support program. Many of you know that child support is a federal program, but administered from the state level. If the agencies were to merge both the SNAP program and the child support program, it will result in an increased cost for the to run this program. Further down in the article, it says here that only 6 states require that if the mother signs up for the SNAP program, that then automatically means that the father is enrolled in a child support program. So the states decided to do a study. It's a 2014 study commissioned by Utah legislators to look further what would happen if they were to merge the two programs. It failed because it wasn't cost effective. Here is the study that was done by University of Utah on the child support program. You're welcome to Google it to read the rest of it, but in essence, we'll talk about their findings. So in the article and in the report, it says that nationwide, it would cost about $11 billion over a decade period. This is from the Congressional Budget Office in Congress to put in place a process that to include child support program and the SNAP program. And the reason is it is not cost effective. In fact, the article written here by the commissioner says it would double the annual budget of the child support program. Again, it would double the annual budget of the child support program. Further, in the third paragraph, it says mandating child support program participation would force the SNAP program to create what is called a new bureaucratic infrastructure. And its sole purpose was to identify those SNAP recipients, track them, and monitor them case by case basis. In other words, this would be an administrative nightmare. And again, this is from the study that was done from the University of Utah legislators. So here is my opinion, right? The reason why the SNAP program and the child support program are not one is because it's all about the money. Child support Title 4D is all about the money. And they're more concerned about the increase in the budget, not so much whether the mother and the child needs food stamps. So here on the screen, I have what is called the 2018 data. And remember, this was also at the same time that the article was produced by the commissioner. And if you look at the two highlighted areas, I have here, it says that the CSC expenditure amount is $5.9 billion. That is to run the program, where they get 66 cents on each obligation collected. Well, in the article, the commissioner said that if you were to implement the merger of these two programs, it would double the CSC budget. So in essence, this commissioner, we've now authenticated that the information from the commissioner in this article is actually true. 5.9 times 2 is about approximately $11 billion. So let's go back to that section of the article where it says mandating child support program participation would force the child support agencies to create a new bureaucratic infrastructure to identify the SNAP recipients. Okay, and to put this in place will be a disaster. So where does the SNAP program falls within the government benefit under the federal program for Title IV? 45 CFR 206.10 is the application and the eligibility process for the SNAP program. And on line A, where it says the state plan requirement, if you notice where the arrow is pointing, it covers Title I, Title 4A, Title 10, Title 14, and Title 16. There is nowhere within the state plan that the Title 4D program is involved with the SNAP program. As we know, Title 4D is a separate process from all the others. Further, it says here that when the mother signs up for the program, she signs up under penalty or perjury, and it's part of the state agency. which means there is a contract in which she has to provide truthful information. So, in my opinion, what we've learned so far, we've learned that this commissioner has said in the article that the SNAP program is not the same as Title 4D because it's too expensive to implement. And they've tried it in 10 states and it failed. Also, that the SNAP program is Title 4A and not included or has no connection to Title 4D. So, in keeping with that information, let's go back to the case law I always like to quote in all my videos, that Blessing versus Freestone says that the Title 4D program was never intended to benefit the mother or the child. This is consistent with the attempt to merge the two programs. Again, Blessing versus Freestone is the cornerstone of the Title 4D program. So let's go back to the child support enforcement side. And this is the basics for it. The Child 4D program starts with paternity establishment. In part 2, we will focus more on, how what happens to the process if mom, again, applies for a government program. So for this, let's look at the second paragraph where it starts off with federal law requires states to have a procedure to permit the establishment of paternity for all children, right? And that the mother, when she applies for any benefits from the state, she must cooperate by giving the name of the father, including name, address, and social security number. If she does not, then she forfeits 25% of the benefits. Now, as we showed earlier, this is something that she signs under penalty or perjury. In essence, it is a contract. The offer in the contract that says if you want the full benefit, you need to give us the father's information. If you want 75% of the benefit or 25% loss, then you don't have to give up the father's information. So that is an option. It is an offer in a contract. If the mother decides, I want the benefits without surrendering the name of the father, then the contract is the agreement between mother and the state. It is a closed contract. No one else is involved in that contract. So here we are at what I call the call to action section. So what have we learned so far from a commissioner? Didn't put the name; it's irrelevant. That there is no connection between the SNAP program, supplemental nutrition or food stamps, and the Title 4D program. And an attempt was made to merge the two. It never happened. So how does that help you in your child support case? If many of you were enrolled in the Child Support D program by thinking or they claimed that mom enrolled you or mother enrolled you, that is not true. So what is your defense or offense for that? Fraud on the tribunal or the court. Because by telling you that because mom signed up for the program, you're automatically enrolled in Title 4D, that is wrong. To also conclude that if mom were to, again, apply for any services of the government, it automatically leads to the father being on child support, Title 4D. Again, those are false. So what have we done here? And here's your remedy. We're saving you anywhere between $500 to over $1,000. That is, you were dragged into court, pay a lawyer if you have one, that you'll have an increase in your child support payment as a result of mom having services, or we're going to place the father on child support because mother signs up for services. All three statements are false. That is fraud. You cannot deceive someone into a program or into a contract because that is fraud. So this is your remedy. This could probably save you hundreds of dollars. That means any increase in your child support payment based on the decision of mom is false. And of course, on this channel, we say we want to get you off the child support program, but in this event, this is one strategy. And it doesn't matter what paperwork you have, we would be happy to review the paperwork to include this evidence. Remember, evidence is what wins cases. We have the evidence to show that the two has nothing to do with each other, as well as you cannot be dragged into court as a result of mom being enrolled in the SNAP program. Also, we suggest, again, that you look at the strategies for this pandemic that the globe is now facing for other strategies. If you disagree with any of our information, please feel free to email us. We welcome all challenges. Or if not, you can put your comments below. We also ask that you like and subscribe on our channel and also hit the notification bell. Now, as we continue our research and we apply the appropriate evidence and this to your case to help you from child support, all we ask for is a $25 gift. Again, this is what we're asking. The information we've given you is already in the video, and to help us continue more research, there is part 2 that we will cover as well. So here we are at the end, and just to summarize, mother did not put you on the child support program as a result of her applying to the SNAP. Again, she has the freedom to ask her government for assistance. Thank you. Have a good day.